Assalamualaikum and good morning. Hello, Tera Malaysia. I'm Azalea. I'm a certified professional engineer and I work as a design engineer. When I was primary school, I like to play with Lego. So I remember I forced my grandparents to buy me the Star Wars Lego. You know Star Wars yang suka-suka the droid? Yeah, I forced my grandparents to buy that 200 ringgit at Toys R Us. At my grandparents' house, I made it lah. So basically it took me a few days to make it, but she did the manual there. And then I just make it. There were lots of players, lots of police. So when I was doing it, I remember I'm like, hey, I'm quite good with my hands. And that made me think maybe I should be someone who's going to write something. So yeah, so that's the trigger to become a design engineer really. And I remember my family dulu we stayed in Rawang, but my school is in Petaling Jaya, so it was a 1-hour drive. Primary school was in Sri Petaling, section 14. And then my secondary school was in Sri Aman, in Kampung Tugu area. At middle of Form 3, my parents migrated to Ireland, Republic of Ireland, which is Dublin. So the whole family hijrah ke sana. And I went there juga lah in July 2006. When I went to Ireland, my family found like this big all-girls school, public school in Ireland. So I went there and the teacher told me if I want to be in the year with the same student, the same age, dah tak ada space dah. So I need to go to classes with the students 2 years above me. So that's how I did my A-levels at 16 when my peers were doing it at 18. When in Ireland then, you were Asian and then you were Malaysian. You felt this gap, you know, you're not comfortable talking to them because you're Malaysian. But eventually, I had to open up and just talk to them. And they were very curious, because they were curious, like, I was from Southeast Asia, they were asking about Malaysia, they said they want to come. So I think that's the ice-breaking point and that's how we bond together. And as Asian kind, we are very, very smart. So people will come to you to copy your maths book lah, your science book lah. So it's fine. Kadang nampak kawan kan, Asian.
Asian trait lah.
Asian trait. Like seriously, I was studying for 2 years. That 2 years I got Academic Achievement Award. Why? Just because I studied very, very hard there. A-levels in Ireland is called English certificate. At 16 doing A-levels is just 3 hours of studying every day, one exam paper. One exam paper at 3 hours. That's how you can score for A-levels. It's all hard work.
How many subjects for A-levels?
Right. I did 6 subjects. There was English, and then I did higher level maths. Higher level maths is like IMechE. And then I did biology, my favorite. I got A because I learned my teacher so much. And then I did physics. And then I did geography and business. So geography and business memang first time belajar kan. Memang tak tahu from zero. So kena pergi grind class lah. Grind class is like tuition. So after schools end at 2, but then your tuition starts at 6. So at 6 o'clock you have to go to the tuition center, belajar for 1.5 hours. Yeah, I just keep learning really. I got an A in biology because I loved my bio teacher. Her name was Miss Kenneth. She had a British accent. She was so awesome. And because of her, right, I wanted to do biomedical engineer. So at one night, there was this engineering talk at a university called University College Dublin. It was near the house, about 10 minutes away from the house, in jalan je. And after the talk, we went to speak to the professor. And what she said to me and my dad followed me as well. She said that don't do specialization first, like don't do biomedical engineering degree first. So by that time memang susah nak dapat kerja. She recommended to do a basic degree, which is mechanical. So that's why I took up mechanical engineering when I came back to Malaysia. And then by that time, about 2007, Ireland was heading to recession. By 2008, we had to come down to Malaysia before it became really bad. So my parents said, okay, let's go to university in Malaysia. And they proposed a few options. And I said to them, I wanted to continue British education. So that's how I got into Nottingham, Malaysia. Study-wise in Nottingham, it was fun because I got to make friends with Sudanese, Nigerians, Kenyans, all the international students, which is an eye-opener really. Dapat kawan dengan orang Rwanda, Kazakhstan, very had fun then. And then at university, saya bukan belajar sangat because I just realised mechanical engineering syllabus is very very hard. For a 16-year-old girl yang memang tak bercuan lagi, tak faham. Susah, memang susah. Until I thought that, oh my god, maybe I need to drop out sebab memang tak boleh. Eventually, I'm still an engineer, right? Okay, dulu kat Nottingham, we had like 1 year long group projects. We were given a project title where we have a concept which we need to create prototypes. At the end of the year, we have to present. And that 1 year of development helped me to become a design engineer. By then, when I go off to universities right now, their development projects is quite short. So I'm quite scared students tak rasa dia punya the development project kesusahan dan punya fikiran untuk develop one prototype. I really want university to have a very more, not robust, but more time for the students to play with stuff so that they can create something. Then they know they're innovative. My objective here is to open up their mind and become innovators because I know you all can do it. Boleh je. Creativity saja.
Hands-on approach.
Hands-on. We were doing a thermoacoustic engine. Basically, we're using heat, like terbakar kayu kan. Use some mechanism to change it to become wave energy so that they can produce electricity. Okay, during our prototype too, it didn't work, right? We couldn't make it work. Tapi our PhD supervisor, his variation actually worked. But we actually spent that money. We spent, like for me, I'm the CAD lady. I was doing CAD. Juven and Roland went to the fabricators to find supplier to make our prototypes out of design, and we tested it. Every night for like 2-3 months we tested it out just to make it work. That is engineering, that is innovation. Innovation doesn't come with only one prototype, it comes with a lot of failures. From university, we have made a thing from nothing. From nothing we made something. And that helped me get a job at the company I'm working right now. Because at the company, I remember they were asking about the project. And that company, they actually asked, what did I do in that project? So usually kalau interviewers, in order to know if you did the job, they want to know the details of it. Macam for example, I actually went to the board and I drew out the design, and I drew out okay, one time nak buat lubang ni, tetapi lubang tu kecil sangat, so I have to make it bigger and shoot it up and down so that I can put that material into my design. So this engineering manager actually knew that, I did the job. And then apa lagi? I work in a design company in Johor. I was a graduate design engineer. I was only 20, going to 21 that time. My first project was a vacuum cleaner and I was doing the handle. I was so proud I was doing the handle. I told my whole family I was doing the handle. From the handle to belajar, kenapa handle to the design, it's designed that way. Kenapa kita guna PC material, polycarbonate? Kenapa kita ada catch kat tepi tu? Dan saya faham lah dia ada konsep dia. Kita design sebab ada tujuan dia actually. It's not for aesthetic, but it's for there's a function behind that form. And that is one thing I like about the company. The vacuum cleaner, kalau you shake the bit, dia kata jatuh. So that was because there was a plastic to plastic interaction. There was less friction. So in order to solve that problem, we need to put a rubber, which is a TPU, an elastomer. And because it was high risk, and that project requires, it was about to launch very soon, within 2-3 months, I had to go to the production line nearly until at night just to solve the problem. And at that time I had help with my colleagues, all my bosses, Pak Wan, Haris, Abang Haris, and eventually we helped out. And that's when I realized, you know what, ladies, a girl like me dulu macam I thought I didn't know anything. Yeah, at that time I was doubting myself. I was 20s, like mid-20, tak tahu apa-apa. But when you have this project which you need to solve it and you actually successfully solve it, and realize, hey, you can do it. Do je. You have to handle the stress je. Like what my current boss said to me lah, I put you in this role for you to sink or swim. So you have two decisions. You want to swim or you want to sink. So my decision is to just swim. Boleh saja bos. When I started work, I was a design engineer work CAD. So at the office we did NX, is a 3D CAD software called NX Siemens.
Mini graphics,
Yeah, mini graphics. And then we do drawings more. And at one point, I used to admire this senior. I call him Uncle N. Even now I call him Uncle N. He's like, ala my parents may aged. So when I saw him, it's like I want to be like him. He was design manager. And because of him and a few other design managers, or these design managers are the ones that memang run the projects until launch. They are very I say, proactive. Terus jalan saja, tak kisah apa-apa. Because that time when I was young, I was takut-takut, senyap, invisible. I want to be like him because he was visible, he was tough, he was like, tak kisah langsung. Every 2-3 days I jump teams. Like in this company, we can jump teams. So I jump teams to get the experience which I needed to get to where he is. So from design engineer for vacuum cleaner, I become design engineer for fan. Then I got into sustainability. That's where I started project management, a small bit, and I got help. And I was under he was a former head of department. So literally 9 months, he drilled me up to become, he drilled me to have the theory of a design manager, and he really helped. Nama dia Dong, Mak Saleh. Learn from the best, itu saja. You will struggle, but eventually one day you will thank these people who helped you up. And then, like now I'm doing sustaining work, doing cost down, and now I am progressing in my work. I'm becoming a technical project manager. So I got my certification, and I want to develop this team. It's fun. It's dynamic because it complements with my personality really. Okay, I come from a family of professionals because my parents are professional quantity surveyors. So they push their kids to do their qualification, their professional qualification. So my mom and my dad really pushed me. Buat IR, buat chartered engineer, buat. Sampai aku nak buat. And I got triggered. That turning point was at one team. I felt very down, very demotivated because sometimes we had some bad times at that team. At that point, I opened up this application form of a chartered engineer, and I realized, oh my God, I'm actually meeting the requirements of certain applications, certain criteria. I'm actually okay. Cuma my team ni je yang tak okay sangat. So because of the application form ni kan, it helped me focus. Okay, I have this, but I don't have that. So what can I do to get that experience which I can write into the application form? Tak macam to do is macam, okay. So I think let's give a chronology. First, I did my chartered engineer. It's a chartership. Basically, get chartered engineer with the UK Engineering Council, which is CEng. And then a few years later, I did IR, which is with the Board of Engineers Malaysia.
So how did you get IR? Yeah, PCE, right? That's an examination.
Yeah, that is examination like mine. Mine is I use Group B.
Sorry?
Group B. Dia ada IR ada banyak. Because I did my body first, which is CEng. Then I used that CEng to take my IR.
Oh.
So for example, kalau CEng, for me, I'm a member of IMechE. IMechE is the Institution of Mechanical Engineers based in the UK. Their application form is, you have to answer 5 questions based on your work experience. First question is, how do you develop yourself to get to the role right now? Second, your problem solving skills. How do you solve problems when you at your engineering task? Third, it is technical and commercial leadership. So your project management and your people management, how do you manage them? Fourth is communication skills. How do you communicate your proposals to people at all levels, technical and non-technical people, your operator? And fifth is your commitment to professional standards. What is your lifelong learning? How do you track your CPD? CPD is continuous professional development. This is our lifelong learning punya journey lah basically. So when you can answer that 5 questions with your work experience, you go to an interview for 1 hour, then you pass lah. Senang, experience senang. Cuma nak dapat experience tu je susah. Okay, kalau IR, like for me, Route B is using CEng to go to IR. So when I submit it, I will have to go for exam. That's when I need to read 2 Malaysian acts lah. The Registration of Engineers Act and Registration of Engineers something REA and RE. Bila baca that act tu, after 1 month you have to go for your ethics test, code of conduct exam for 1.5 hours, and you have to write your. Basically, the questions are has a lot of case studies, so you have to write your answers based on what you read in the acts. Like for example, I remember, I always tell this to my friends about IR. Okay, you are an IR, but you work overseas, for example in Singapore, and then you got help at Singapore, you got fine in Singapore, a few thousand. Can BM or Board of Engineers Malaysia fine you as well? What do you think? Well, the answer is yes, BM can fine you because it's already in the act. So when I did IR, it made me more ethical in my mind.
Educating lah.
Yeah, because your license can be provoked. I don't want that lah. I want to be a principal. I want to be a role model so people can come and mimic me into such a. Even before chartered engineer, that was about 2016 and below, I was very scaredy cat and also very invisible. At the company we had at that time there were about a few hundred engineers. We were very, very invisible. Jangan kau tak nampak. And then as a lady engineer, kita lagi teruk. Orang tak dengar sangat lah, we speak too soft lah. It's quite demotivating for someone yang nak progress tapi tak tahu macam mana. Lepas pergi chartered engineer, bila dah pass tu, I realise, I'm competent. I can do my job actually. So, just tak payah fikir all the noise at work, just do your job at normal, buat kerja nak amanah itu je. That's what happened to me with chartered engineer. It made me competent. With IR, it made me more ethical. And because of IR, I get to meet a lot of other engineers, my colleagues who want to do IR. Because that's the point where they felt down, they felt that they were nobody. So when I help them do IR, it's like I'm giving them their darjat, nak menaikkan darjat mereka. Ya, itu saja. That's the best part actually.
Yep.
Right. 20 engineers, mechanical engineers.
Oh, you under your tutelage lah to go IR. Good for you. So next is the PMP. Got 2 minutes left. So the PMP and what's your hope lah? Just say maybe pendek is the PMP.
PMP is just PMP is just office goal. Kalau nak jadi project manager, kena ada certification. Baru ada oomph. And then also I'm an archery coach. That one point, that is my archery coach ni is just for me to keep thinking out of work. I hope you will learn something out of me too. And I'm a STEM advocate. I just want to share my knowledge to you so that you learn something out of me, and maybe we can meet up and link on LinkedIn itu saja, and ask me questions on message. Ta-da!
Okay, don't forget to like, comment and share.
Don't forget to like, comment and share on Tera